The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 4 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 3 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 2 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 1 minute. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 30 seconds. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2.
One mic.
I'm back.
It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. Live,
There ain't no goddamn tape.
interactive, and on demand. One Mic. Yeah, a sports show.
The best move of LeBron's career, man, was dragging his sweaty ball sack right across Draymond Green's the nape of his neck and getting that dude suspended.
And so much more.
What's going on right now with Donald Trump? This is America, and it tickles me to death when white people are so shocked and appalled by it.
What? It's the One Mic with Big Mike show.
Of course, it's like anything, like ammonia or you sniffing glue is gonna get you high.
You've been warned. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts now. Here he is.
He's real cocky, he's real loudmouth, he's real flamboyant. He don't cow down to people.
Big Mike.
Oh yeah, yes sir. Monday here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Welcome everybody. Welcome in from the weekend, or welcome back from the weekend. I am, of course, broadcasting live on Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, which is available for all your mobile devices, and on TuneIn. You guys can also hear the show or any other show I've done on demand on any of those outlets, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. I'm broadcasting live video on Facebook via my Facebook page on Facebook Live. You can go there at the number one, MICWITHBIGMIKE, at One Mic with Big Mike. Make sure you like the page while you're there. Share me with all your friends. You can also use that same handle to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Got a lot of crap to talk about today. A lot of stuff happened over the weekend, man, in the world of sports, in the world in general. And I'll try to address as much of it as I can in the next 2 hours or so, man. If you guys want to get involved, you want to holler at your boy, text me, man, 404-902-8104, 404-902-8104. You can also leave your comments and questions and your criticisms and whatever you want to do. Say whatever you want under my Facebook live stream here on Facebook. And also, you can jump inside my live interactive chat room that is provided to me by the good folks at Spreaker. To do so, all you must be doing is listening via Spreaker. And then click that little thought bubble icon on your streaming player. It'll get you inside my live interactive chat room where you guys can hang out and talk amongst one another. You can holler at me, whatever you want to do, man. No guest tonight, so at the bottom of the hour, I do my feature that I do every show called On This Day, where I give you guys some historical factoids and tidbits and whatnot on some things that happened historically on this particular day in the world, in history, in the world of sports. We got to get through what happened in college football this weekend, what happened in the NFL this weekend. Also, some NBA news to talk about. Them Cavs still ain't really doing the things that we may have expected them to do, or some of you may have expected them to do. Some of you may be like me and saw a bunch of old guys getting together, hoping to make another run at things, or making a run for the first time in the case of some guys, and it hadn't quite worked out that way. So we'll get into all that as the show proceeds, man. I think that's all I got for you guys to start off. I want to start, and I feel like I'm doing this way too damn often, man, by recognizing the tragedy that happened out in Texas over the weekend. I'm calling it, the people that I mess with call it what it is, man. A terrorist attack. No real difference than what happened in New York. I don't know, when was that? It seemed like that just happened the week before last. When did that happen? It just recently happened. The situation in New York with the kid who claimed to be inspired by ISIS. Like, to me, you don't have to be inspired by nothing. You can just be a nut job and crazy. But if people feel terror by what you did, and from what I saw, 28 people dead, another 20 injured in this shooting, this church shooting in Texas, yeah, that fits my definition of a terror attack. Unfortunately, we're in America. Unfortunately, for this reason, we're in Texas. I mean, we're in America, because apparently, if your skin is anything but brown or black, you can't be considered a terrorist for whatever reason. And they quick to point that out too. Well, it's not a terrorist attack. It doesn't fit the definition. It doesn't fit the legal definition of a terrorist attack. Well, probably need to change the definition. You know what I mean? Because, there's some people, and most of the people who are reporting these things, they don't look like me. But these terrorists, they look like you. You know what I mean? And as hard as it may be to call it what it is because of a fear that it may reflect poorly on other people that look like you, look, a duck is a duck, man. If it quacks, it's a duck. If you go to churches and shoot up people, I'm not interested in your motivation. What motivated you to do it? You went into a building where people wasn't doing nothing to nobody, regardless if it was a church. That's the other thing too. Like, because this country is so mired in religion, that's supposed to take on some sort of extra meaning. A church of all places. I mean, it could have happened at a skating rink. It could have happened at a gas station. It could have happened at a clubhouse somewhere. The real fact of the matter is these are people who wouldn't bother nobody. They was in there doing what they do on Sunday, regardless of what it is. If they was in there playing pinochle, there still is no plausible reason for some whack job terrorist to run in there and start shooting up people. You know what I'm saying? And as long as everything around these type of situations continues to be denied, you don't call it what it is. Your president starts talking about mental instability. The same dude who just wiped out one of Obama's accomplishments in saying, like, look, if you're too crazy to file your own Social Security check, people have to have handlers because they're not mentally stable. If you're that, you know what you can't do? Buy a gun. Your man Trump was like, whatever, the crazier the better. Let's run it. I'm all about this NRA life. All right, cool. But now what that does is mean you can't talk to me about mental health now after these people are dead. You can't do that. Because you don't care enough. You care more about the money that's coming into whatever you're doing from your NRA buddies than people's human lives. This is why I said, and I'm hearing it said more and more on television. Like, after the Sandy Hook situation, like, I was on radio now. I was producing the radio show here in Atlanta when that happened. That was one of the roughest days ever in radio. My hosts couldn't hold it together. They was crying. Like, luckily, well, I don't say luckily, but the balancing act was that me and my co-producer, we're really not the crying type. We were more mad than sad and hurt. Like, we was just kind of mad. So all that emotion was in the studio, and it was hard to do a show talking about sports, and we really didn't. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, we really didn't that day. And once no one said, you know what, maybe we should rethink some of what we're allowing people to put in their hands, and then claim self-defense. You got a military grade weapon for self-defense? Nah. You try and do damage. But it's neither here nor there, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not going to stop, because there's this love affair with guns, these things, man. That, you hear stupid people say, well, guns don't kill people. Stupid people with guns kill people. Well, too many stupid people have guns and are allowed to have guns. And no one, and other stupid people aren't going to do anything about it, which makes them stupid. So it is what it is, man. All y'all, and it's the last thing I'm saying about it, man. And I know, like, when it comes to, like, the stuff that happens on social media or whatever, I'm like the counterbalance to a lot of the things that are naturally accepted. For example, as soon as something happens, some sort of tragedy happens, a mass killing, or some sort of natural disaster or whatever, the first thing, instinctually, pray for blank. And I feel like if people can feel comfortable and really in good conscience do that after something horrible has happened, I can be the counterbalance to you and say, guess what? You do this every time, and it's obviously not working. First of all, when you do it after the fact, people are already dead. So, yeah, those people get no help from your prayers, which basically tells me it's a selfish motion, right? You're doing something to make you feel better, like to feel like you're doing something about the situation, when in reality, none of us can. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I can't do nothing for them folks. Now, if they set up a fund to help, because there's a lot of people that's going to need burying, man. And burial fees and funeral costs ain't cheap. They're not low. So if they set up a fund and I drop $10 in it, well, that's me doing what I can do to influence what's happening there. It's the same thing I was talking about with the hurricanes. Like, instead of praying, call the Red Cross number and drop $5 in there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't get that McDonald's value meal tomorrow. But somebody who's had their whole life washed away, is a little closer to reaching normalcy again. Your prayers do none of that. Because I'm not giving money in response to your prayers. I'm giving money in response to the fact that people need help. But you can continue to talk to yourself and feel like you have some sort of magical powers that can go from your thoughts and words to somebody else's pain and despair. This is the One Mike with Big Mike show. Had to start off a Monday like that, man. That's rough, man. But, it is what it is, I'm here live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Spreaker, SPREAKER.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in as well. My man, I Am Nodo's in the building. He's a believer. He says we need to be praying for America because we're effed with Trump. Well, guess what? It's too late. He's there now. Like, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't work. Like, especially for black people. Black people have been praying for hundreds of years. And here we are. You know what I mean? We're still second-class citizens. It's still looked upon as people's property and things of that nature. By the way, I'm going to talk about that in a little while as well, because my man Draymond said something last week, and I kind of brushed over it and didn't really even, I spoke on it a little bit, but it did elicit a response from one of the team owners, Mark Cuban. So I feel the need to address it. If you guys want to join I Am No Those in the chat room, like I said before, just click that little thought bubble icon on your streaming player if you're listening to me via Spreaker or the Spreaker app. It'll get you right up in there. Let's start off with the NFL. One thing in particular in the NFL, out of all the things that we don't know about the National Football League, especially this year, it's been a real weird year, right? You got teams like Jacksonville headed towards the playoffs. Even the Bills look like they may be headed to the playoffs from a million years. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm sorry. See, I misrepresented the homie. He said he's not religious. Is that like, are you about to pull one of those, like, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual things on me? Because people do that when really all you're doing is renaming the same animal. You know what I mean? It's a cat, it's a feline, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? No, I'm jiving. I'm messing around with you. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, it's a real weird year in the NFL. We thought the Raiders was going to be cool. Not so much. You got the LA Rams doing big things. And the Eagles. The Eagles are probably, offensively and defensively and special team wise, man, it's probably the best team in the league. Now, that's always subject to change because, again, as I mentioned, them kickstarts be talking to me at the beginning of the show, boy, or talking back to me. As I mentioned every show, basically, when I talk about the NFL, it's a violent game. And a few things here or there, they'll bite you in the ass. You know what I mean? This kid Carson Wentz, man, he's playing MVP style football, man. He's probably the front runner if there were such a thing. But somebody comes down on his ankle wrong. A guy hits him, and like Aaron Rodgers, a little freakish thing where they fall on the kid after they tackle him. That changes their whole season, unless you want to say you believe in Nick Foles. Is it Foles or Folks? It doesn't even matter. I don't need to put no respect on his name because he's that irrelevant. He's not the kid that's, you know what I'm saying, that's starting. Ooh, that's tough too, dude. My man, I Am No Those in the chat room saying he still ain't watching football, and his team is and they playing good football. There's another team. See, just weird stuff. Started 0-2. And here we are. What are they on? Six straight wins? Drew Brees playing all right. It's just like, you know what, I Am No Those? I'm going to say this, and because I don't believe in jinxes and magic and all that kind of stuff. But ironically, man, it reminds me of that Super Bowl year. You know what I'm saying? Like that year they weren't knocking people out the box defensively, but what were they doing? Taking the football away and keeping people out the end zone at critical points in the football game. And it looks a lot like that this year. They running the football. They got that kid. You guys remember me talking to my man, who was it? Alex Kaptoff of NFL Draft Blitz before the draft came up. I remember talking about him saying, I really like this kid from Tennessee, and I couldn't remember his name, Alvin Kamara. Yeah, he's a nice little running back. Fumbled yesterday, but, that's to be expected. He's young. But he's young and excited and enthusiastic. And he might extend Drew Brees' career about another 2 years. Him and Mark Ingram been running the ball pretty damn well. But let me start here. Speaking of the NFC South. Right. I didn't even see that part of the comment. Yeah, the Saints are leading the NFC South, and the Falcons are still blowing leads. All those things are factually correct. Even for a man who's not watching football, he knows these things to be true. What they call them, these things to be self-evident? Yeah, they are. But the thing to me is being down here and spending my whole life here, it's never really the team with me. You know what I mean? It's the people who follow the team, the fans, that are really, really funny. I made a comment yesterday that it's actually funner. It's actually more fun to me to have my television on Red Zone and just basically watch the football game, the local game, the Atlanta game, on social media. I watch it through the reaction of the fans that I follow and that follow me and that have friended me and all these things or whatever you do on social media. Yeah, I actually do it that way sometimes because it's so hilarious, the reaction. Like, for whatever reason, this is the one team, and I don't know if it's the one team. It may be like this everywhere, but I'm just closer to it here. I'm gonna convince myself that that's what it is. These people here aren't just exclusively crazy. It feels like every game that every offensive drive should be a touchdown, and every game should end with the other team scoring 0 points and gaining 0 yards, and every year end with the team undefeated and winning the Super Bowl every single year. And if that doesn't happen, it's the worst year of all time. It has that feel to it. And when you have somebody like me, I've done it since my time on radio, trying to get people to gain a certain level of perspective through simple things, like just reminding people that the other team gets paid too. You know what I mean? You're not scrimmaging. These guys want to win on the other side too, and they get paid to do it. And they're they're the best in the world at what they do. I.e., yesterday the Panthers. The Panthers are one of the best defenses in the league. It wasn't going to be no cakewalk, especially you going on the road. The offense hadn't found its way yet. Earlier today, one of my coworkers, one of my fabulous former coworkers named Arlen, and I, for whatever reason, we kind of just took over somebody's post about this situation, and it ended up being real back and forth. She's a big time Falcons fan, man. And she's like my man Rob Calloway. She's like all these Falcons fans that I know. She's the quintessential Falcons fan. Like, everything is wrong unless everything is right type of feeling. I get that type of feeling. And, a lot of times, when if you don't even have to dig that deep. The name Matt Ryan comes up. It ends up being his fault. The man who played some of the best quarterback I've seen in a while last year that resulted in an MVP and a trip to the Super Bowl. Still, people have doubts, and I think we're at the point now where they can't question his ability as a football player. So then we go to things that are intangible and things that you can't touch. His heart and the dog in him and his will to win. This is a professional football player. Like, how does he not have the will to win? Like, that's a part of what he's gonna be defined by. Of course he does. You know what I mean? There are a lot of different factors that people, and I made the comment to her. I think she took offense to it. I'm pretty sure she did. And people make the lazy comparisons where people start talking about this guy must be better because he has a championship ring. Well, with football being a team of 22 people on the field at one time, we're a team where the play cannot start unless one person does something for the other person in the snap, right? No play is successful, well, essentially, unless everyone is doing something on the play. Your receivers have to be blocking or running routes while the offensive line block, while the running backs block or go out for a route. Like, everybody's in motion at one point in time or another on the football field. But we've gotten into this lazy, low-hanging fruit mentality of thinking, well, the quarterback, he touches the ball every play, so we got to start giving him wins and losses, which makes no sense at all. But it's easy, and it allows people to be lazy and not really critique properly, player for player. And right now, if I'm looking around the National Football League, and you guys know I don't do lists and all those kind of things, there's probably 2, maybe 3. Like, prime time will be wearing gold jacket quarterbacks. Of course, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if Russell Wilson is that guy. He's what they would probably call clutch. You know what I mean? But as far as his entire game, I don't know. I don't separate him from guys like Matthew Stafford or guys like Matt Ryan or guys like maybe a Marcus Mariota. I don't really separate those dudes that much. I separate Rodgers and Brady a lot further away from those guys. And there are guys that are on the come up, the Jerry Goffs of the world, the Carson Wentzes of the world, the Dak Prescotts of the world. We saw a few good games out of real good games out of Deshaun Watson, but longevity is the key, because every year, the thing that makes Tom Brady what he is, Aaron Rodgers and those guys, and Peyton Manning what he was, they were able to stay ahead every offseason. They come back and still be ahead of the guys trying to catch them. Those guys that I was talking about earlier, those guys who get paid as well. They were able to stay ahead of them. That is the challenge. That's the challenge for guys like Cam Newton. And he's got to stay healthy. Guys like Russell Wilson, guys like Deshaun Watson, inevitably, Jared Goff, all the guys that I've already mentioned. So when people who are fans of teams and they're emotionally attached to teams look at their quarterbacks, I forgot to mention Drew Brees. I'm sorry. How did you not catch that? I am know those. That's your man. You know what I'm saying? Those are the 3. Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady. Those are the dudes that's, you know what I'm saying, that's sitting there, gold jackets already fitted for them and ready to rock. Everybody else falls somewhere under that. I don't know what order, but I know there are a couple different tiers. And I think Matt Ryan is right there in that second tier. Like, you don't just oops, trip into an MVP season. It's a long season, man. 17 weeks, 16 games. There's a lot of effing up. You know what I mean? There's a lot of effing up that's available to you within that time. And when you don't, that's a pretty special football player. Now, and it always comes down to this. It always sounds like I'm defending Matt Ryan. But really, all I'm doing is giving you what I consider to be facts. Not alternative facts, not, whatever. But, and here's another fact. And I played this for you guys a couple of weeks ago. My conversation with Orlando Ledbetter, when I called this type of thing happening. Like, you just don't keep giving this dude every other year a different offensive coordinator and asking him to do the same things. That's hard. When Kyle Shanahan got here in Atlanta, they struggled that first year to the point that before last year happened, and you can Google this. If you think that I'm being hyperbolic in any way, you can Google this. There was a fire Kyle Shanahan petition, a legitimate petition going around, and it had like thousands of signatures on it. The only thing he did was set records calling plays here in Atlanta. And by the time you guys started to appreciate him, well, you turn on him again because of what happened in the Super Bowl. Immediately, as people were begging him to stay, don't go. There are people now who still say he made a mistake in going. As though you don't understand, this dude got an unprecedented contract and basically control of the organization. Who doesn't take that? No matter where you at. Like, no matter what team it is. And it's not like a team that doesn't have anything to build on. They're hoping this Jimmy Garoppolo thing works out for them. Maybe they got Carlos Hyde in the backfield. Pierre Garçon is out for the season again, so that sucks for them. But it's not like a team that's like bare bones. There's some things there to work with. They're just not very good now. This is why he got the 5-year deal. Yeah, if you don't take that, you're the idiot. What you staying here and being the second man up for? You gonna stay here and be the second man? Please. Not, especially not for the same people who tried to get a petition going, who got a petition going to get me fired. Yeah. I'm out. I'm on the first thing smoking, cuz this is without the 5-year deal. Even if I get one of those standard first time head coaching deals, I'm out. But anyway, as far as my conversation, and the conversation that I was having with Arlen earlier, you know, I could tell she was getting excited about it. And that's like the problem with me in these kind of conversations with people, because I don't really care as much as the person that I'm having a conversation with. So it's just like I feel you. I feel your emotions rising, and I can't match them. I'm just coming at you with factual evidence, with things, and then people start getting irrational. Like at one point she says, if only we had gone after Drew Brees instead of worrying about his shoulder. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, that wasn't even a possibility. It had me having to go look it up. And of course, when I went and looked, Michael Vick was still here the year that Drew Brees became a New Orleans Saint. So it wasn't like you was going to have Drew Brees and Mike Vick, everybody's favorite Negro dog-loving son, you know what I mean, here in Atlanta. It wasn't going to happen that way. Yeah, the reality of the things that happen in this city, the reality is this team, this organization would have been the Cleveland Browns. I truly believe that, had Matt Ryan not worked out. And I always remind people, because people have selective memories. You know, people say, I just knew we shouldn't have drafted him. Okay, there was 2 other quarterbacks. One's name was Joe Flacco, who the Baltimore Ravens didn't draft him with the intention on him even playing that year. There was that kid, the kid out of Louisville was there, and Troy Smith out of Ohio State was there. And one got hurt, the other one got sick, and they had to throw Flacco in the mix. He had that defense with him. Ray Rice was running the football. It was a marriage made in heaven, inevitably. You know what I'm saying? And then it was Chad Henne. So those were your 3 choices to come down here and rebuild an organization that had been devastated by your $130 million quarterback deciding he wanted to fight dogs and gamble across state lines and catch Fed charges. But that's, I guess, neither here nor there. If you don't like the man, you don't like the man. I think that's what it boils down to. People down here talking about trading Julio Jones. And it stems from him having that big drop yesterday. He dropped a touchdown pass, a short touchdown pass yesterday. And the fact that Julio gets banged up. Like you'll miss that if you're not looking closely enough, because he plays in virtually every game. What? He plays in virtually every game. I'm sorry. Something just came up over on my television here. Apparently, the Texans discussed signing Colin Kaepernick when Deshaun Watson got hurt. Yeah, talk to me when something actually happens. I mean, all these people now, they running from this collusion stuff. Like, no, there's no collusion. Like, we thought about it. We were going to do it. Miss me with it, man. I'll come back with the rest of this Falcon stuff and the rest of this NFL stuff after a break. I got On This Day on the other side of the break. It is the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm here. What up, Big L? Big L's in the chat room, man. Talking about the Saints to the Super Bowl. Stop messing with homie, man. Anyway, yeah, I'm live, man. Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, and on TuneIn. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic. It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel? Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal.
Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
And now, back to One Mic
What are we waiting for? Let's get to it.
with Big Mike.
Oh yeah, I put this song in here for a reason, man. Y'all seen those pictures of Rihanna that's been circulating around the old interwebs? My God, Shawty been eating that curry goat and that fried plantain, boy. My goodness. Anyway, welcome back to the One Mic with Big Mike show here on a Monday. It's a drizzly Monday here in the A. Had to fall back over the weekend, got mad dark super early. You know what I mean? You gotta get used to that. The show is live, man, and on demand on Spreaker, the Spreaker app, and on TuneIn if you got that app. You guys can get involved in the show if you like. Just hit me up, 404-902-8104. 404-902-8104. That is the number you want to text me at. You can also jump inside this live interactive chat room I got set up here on Spreaker. Just click that little thought bubble icon you see on the streaming player to get you up in here. Shout out to the man, to the homie Mike Monroe, checking in on Facebook. You guys can too. I'm streaming live video, so you can leave your comments, your questions, and whatnot here on my live Facebook stream at the number one MIC, WITHBIGMIKE. That's how you get to the page or whatnot. I want to talk to you guys about something before the show is over. I've been seeing all these studies about like bidets or whatnot. Bidets being better than, you should prefer to use a bidet rather than just using toilet paper, or like I use a combination of toilet paper and those cottonelle wipes. They basically baby wipes, but I guess they don't call them that because they be weird because you're an adult using them. But those little cottonelle wipes, like I use them. But apparently you shouldn't use either one of those. You should use a bidet. I'm wondering, is that something that's like, it's a thing in the black community? Because I saw a couple of deals on some bidets, and I really want to look into, expanding my horizons or whatnot. So we'll get into it a little bit later. I just want to put that on your mind, your brainstem for a second, and what I'm saying, we'll jump on it a little bit later on. But first, we gotta take a look back.
Now, let's take a look back.
On this day.
Hope that wasn't too much information, sharing all that. Anyway, on this day in 1861, the inventor of basketball, James Naismith, was born. He probably rolling over in his damn grave right now, boy. You see all these tall, skillful Negroes who have totally bastardized the game that he developed. Ain't no damn peach baskets out here, homie. This cat's putting their whole bodies through the rim. On this day in 1969, shout out to Grunk, a tie for the Cy Young Award occurred for the first time. Detroit's Denny McClain and Baltimore's Mike Collier both won the award for Best Pitcher in the American League. On this day in 1974, Mike Marshall became the first relief pitcher to win a Cy Young Award. On this day in 1982, U.S. Supreme Court, they ruled that the National Football League could not dictate the hometown of a team. That case resulted from the Oakland Raiders wanting to move to Los Angeles. You remember that was the first time Al Davis took them cats on and was like, you can't tell me what to do. You crazy? They was trying to make him, tell him they had to vote on it and all that. Al Davis was like, you better go straight to hell. On this day in 1995, on this day in 1989, NFL charities donated $1 million through the United Way to benefit the victims of the Bay Area earthquake. You remember that earthquake that happened during that San Francisco Giants World Series On this day in 1995, ESPN announced a 5-year contract extension with Major League Baseball. The contract represented the very first time that baseball's postseason would be on cable. That happened all the way back in 1995. On this day in 1995 as well, Art Modell, the owner of the Cleveland Browns. Oh, Cleveland. Well, he announced plans to move his team to Baltimore. Of course, they became the Ravens. It was announced that a contract had been signed on October 27th that finalized the Cleveland Browns move to Baltimore. And they ain't been the same since. They just been a sucky-ass, terrible franchise. And finally, on this day in 1996, Michael Jeffrey Jordan scored 50 points for the 29th time in his career. Speaking of scoring points, man, y'all saw what LeBron did after I got off the air on Friday? And then what James Harden turned around and did? I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna keep hitting you over the head with this, man. If you're not appreciating what the NBA is now, you're losing at life. Like, nothing is going to ever impress you, ever in life. If you walked in your house right now and Rihanna was just naked, ready for you to dive in, that wouldn't impress you. If the NBA, the way it is right now, doesn't impress you, that wouldn't either. Anyway, it's the One Mic with Big Mike show here, man. On Spreaker, the Spreaker app, and tune in. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Text me at 404-902-8104. You can also jump inside my live interactive chat room. It's here for you and yours on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app. While you're listening, you'll see a little thought bubble icon on the streaming player. Just click on it. You can leave me messages. You can talk to these two fools that's in here right now as well. Or if you so desire, you can just listen to my dumb ass for the next, hour and a half or hour and 15 minutes, and I'll be cool with that as well. Speaking of listening to my dumb ass, I was talking about the Atlanta Falcons, and not necessarily the team. The team is going to be what it is. You know what I mean? A term that we hear, I think, only in sports. I don't know any other place that I've ever heard the term ebbs and flows. That's what football is, man. And I talked about how weird this year is. Teams that you didn't really expect a lot from are making moves. Teams like the Giants are terrible. My God, terrible to the fact that they questioning whether these guys are even if they quit yesterday. That's rough, man. Like when somebody converts a 3rd and 33 on you, not like on some deep jump ball type stuff, on a smoke screen, you get 3rd and 33 converted on you. Yeah, times is rough. You know what I mean? That's probably the only way you can put it. Times is rough. A couple things I want to mention real quick about this whole Falcons thing. Just kind of put things in perspective real quick. I mentioned the drop that happened yesterday with Julio Jones, and I always got to toot my own horn about things, right? First game of the season, I want to take you guys back there. The Chicago Bears are driving. They have a short touchdown pass to their running back, Jordan Howard, and he drops it in the end zone, essentially. And the Falcons win that game. And I told people, be happy about it, but don't act like you accomplished anything, because these things have a way of coming back to you at the worst time. Like when the Falcons needed a win, a division win over a team that's ahead of them, you had the drop this week. Julio Jones, your man, your best offensive player, had a drop. It just seems to work out that way. I don't know what it is, call it the football gods or whatever you want to call it. It just happens to work out that way. And if you were looking for a sort of a silver lining, and I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I'll mention it now if I hadn't. Yeah. Kyle Shanahan was, the reason I mentioned Kyle Shanahan being so bad the first year and people wanting him out is what's happening right now with drunk ass Steve Sarkisian. That's my name for him, drunk ass Steve. He hadn't had a good year calling plays, but if you want to go pattern wise, the same thing that happened to Kyle Shanahan in his first year is happening to Steve Sarkisian now. So maybe next year's the year you go back to the Super Bowl. I don't know. I wouldn't bet money on it, but there, I'm not always a Debbie Downer. I don't know. I am no those. I don't think I know any Pearl Jam songs. I'm sure I probably do. There are probably some Pearl Jam songs that are like hella popular. They play them in stadiums and on commercials and stuff. I just don't know that it's Pearl Jam, but I don't know if Ebb and Flow is a huge hit by Pearl Jam. I don't necessarily. I'm kind of in your lane type dude, Even Flow, approved. Hashtag approved. Either way, it works out for me. Either way. I talked about the Rams, right? Rams are in first place right now. Todd Gurley is being a monster. He's back to UGA form. Jared Goff, shout out to him as well. They got that white boy out there, Cooper Kupp. Sammy Watkins caught his one pass for his one deep pass every other game. He caught that this weekend. And, of course, they're going to play defense out there. Here's the thing. Here's the most glaring thing out of everything that's happening out there on the left coast. Yeah, Jeff Fisher is trash as a coach. Like this season totally confirms that, man. That dude is absolute 7-9, 8-8 garbage. You feel me? This young dude just came in there and was like, you know what I'm not going to do? Yeah, I'm not going to be overbearing. I'm gonna sit back, chill, call my plays and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be real cool about this. And we're going to rock on. We're going to win some football games. And so far, it's worked out. Another surprise team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, they playing defense. They spend a lot of draft picks over there, so they playing like hella defense. They got to do something at the quarterback position, though. It's going to be cool for Blake Bortles to be what he is right now. But playoff time rolls around, the other team is they're going to force your quarterback to make plays. And we've seen it all crumble with guys like Alex Smith being all conservative, putting the onus on their defense. We're talking good against good. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to playoff football, they're gonna have to figure something out in the coming years. That thing that I've heard people are talking about is the Manning boy, Eli. Kind of like a rebirth of what they did with Peyton. He leaves the team that he got this long-ass starting streak with and joins a team where he really ain't got to do nothing. Turn around, hand that thing to Leonard Fournette, complete a couple short passes. They got Mercedes Lewis out there still balling out of UCLA, man. Still out there doing big things. They got a couple cats on the outside that are pretty decent. And then you got that defense that's going to put the quarterback on his ass more times than not. It seems like it would work. They got, Tom Coughlin, his former coaches out there. The dude whose press conference Eli Manning was crying at. You want to laugh today? Amongst all this ridiculousness that's happening in the world, you want to laugh? Just Google that. Google Eli Manning crying at Tom Coughlin's press conference. It'll blow your mind. You'll damn near pee yourself if you never seen it. But yeah. I like what they're doing out in Jacksonville or Saxonville or whatever they want to call themselves. Now, everybody got to have a cute nickname. That's what bad teams do, by the way. Like here in Atlanta, they're famous for that here. The Grits Blitz, Too Legit to Quit, the Brotherhood, Rise Up, and all this kind of craziness. Look, man, just play football. You know what I mean? Just play football. You know what I didn't do today for you guys? Speaking of laughing, I always would tell y'all that if you just listen to Cam Newton, you'll realize he is not what these people keep saying he is. Oh, Cam Newton's he's so well spoken and all that. Like Cam is getting exposed now because people, coming off that stuff with that young lady and him laughing at her asking a question about receivers or routes or whatever. Like now, you don't fall under that cloak of protection anymore. So now your stupidity and your jargon and your ridiculousness at these press conferences, it's going to start getting illuminated. Like yesterday, my man he just talk. And he does this thing like what Trump does, like figures out what he's going to say as it's actually coming out of his mouth. Like the thought doesn't happen and then the words happen. It's like they happen simultaneously. So they asked him about Kelvin Benjamin being good. And I hate that I don't have this sound for y'all, man. And he starts just talking. Like, yeah, because he's happy about the win, of course. That's who Cam is. He's always happy after they win, and he's like a little child after they lose. All right, no problem with me here, whatever. And he starts talking about, well, we lost a big weapon, but, just like the Titanic, we got to move on. Wait, what? That's not what happened to the Titanic, B. Like, you're using a terrible analogy for your football team. Like any other boat in history of life, the Love Boat. Anything would have been better than that. But that's who Cam is. He gets it wrong, man, more times than not. But usually he'll say it like he said, like even listen to the way he says it. He says it with so much confidence, it make you be like, well, maybe that's what it is. No, that's never what it is. Him and Reggie Miller. Like, I thought I was a dude that butchered sayings. Like, compared to them two dudes, man, they in a league of their own. They got like their own competition going on, and I'm like way in the back of the race. But that's your man, though. Well, that's some of y'all, man. Depending on what week it is, you know, whether it's the week that he's throwing up the black fist or the week that he's saying like, I don't know what the hell Colin Kaepernick is doing. Depending on what week it is, that's your man, right? Or not. Then there's Ezekiel Elliott. He played this weekend, played well against the who did they play against? The Chiefs. Cowboys played against. He played, and the only reason that's news is because, of course, this whole it's not even a domestic violence case. That's not what's hanging over his head. And that's the problem with what's going on right now. It's so far gone from being about what this young lady accused him of. Right now, it's about whether or not the NFL has grounds to be able to do this to him, punish him 6 games over something that he was never, ever charged from. Does he? Yeah, I bet that is stupid. See, that's the type of stuff you can do when you have producers. I know those said Bomani Jones has Cam Newtonisms. That even sounds like totally ridiculous. Like that's the type of stupidity I'm all about. Yeah, like because people who really listen hear this idiocy that comes from his mouth, and that's basically what is there for you to make fun of it. Stuff like that. But you see me, I can't even get the sound from today, much less, you know, a collection of them to make something as beautiful as I believe that to be. Cam Newtonisms. Meaning crap that Cam Newton just makes the hell up. So anyway, Ezekiel Elliott is no longer about the domestic violence accusations that have been posed against him. I mean, he was cleared essentially by law enforcement. Now this is about the NFL trying to show that we're hard on this stuff. And Jerry Jones came out today, zero tolerance. No, it can't be zero tolerance, Jerry. You hired, what's the kid's name? Greg Hardy, who, by the way, had his first quote unquote fight this weekend. I remember I prepared you guys for it. It was some like random dude who had never fought in mixed martial arts before, that, you know, a patsy is set up for Greg Hardy to be 1-0. He ain't fighting no real dude. You know what I mean? If any of us are lucky, that's coming. That day is coming, and we will see breaks beaten off of one Greg Hardy at that point. So anyway, so Ezekiel Elliott has another hearing, I guess, on Thursday. But, you know, people are saying stuff like, you know, he should just go ahead and take the suspension because he don't want to miss the playoffs. But, you know, my man is saying this is his name. He wants people to understand that he's being railroaded. With that being the case, all right, run it. You know what I'm saying? I can't fault him for that. But the other side of that is, and I heard Michael Smith say this the other day, and I don't know that I necessarily agree with it, but I think it was a fair point that because it's no longer about the domestic violence, it's a good chance that most people have already made their minds up on whether he did it or didn't do it. And it was hard for me to jump on that because I stand in the position of like, I don't know. Only the people who were there know. I don't know. What I do know is that the NFL is dead wrong for this. And they're like I am sometimes, even though, I used to be as a kid, as a younger dude. Even though I was dead wrong, I try to make you believe I was right. I try to get you convinced that I was right. Not so much anymore because I'm an adult now and I understand there's a value in being wrong and admitting that you're wrong. So anyway, a federal appeals court has set a Thursday hearing as attorneys for Dallas Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott seek a long-lasting injunction to stop in entirety, just stop it altogether, his 6-game suspension over domestic violence allegations. None of the judges assigned to Elliott's case presided over the NFL's winning appeal and Tom Brady's 4-game suspension, which is good. That's a good thing. Like, they don't already have a ringer in the pool, but it's still going to be an uphill battle for him because of this thing called a collective bargaining agreement. But the homie, you know what? Shout out to him. He's fighting a good fight. You feel me? It's like he's out there. I heard who was talking about this? Somebody on radio. Maybe it's Dan Le Batard. because that's who I primarily listen to. He was talking about the money, the money being spent on lawyers. I think the NFLPA is picking up the tab for Ezekiel Elliott's lawyers, if I'm not mistaken. At least they offered. And I guess it's dependent upon him using their counsel. So if he's doing that, he's not coming off with no money, or they're not taking no money from him, I don't guess. This is just a matter of principle to him. And as long as he's been able to continue to play, and now here lately playing very well, I don't see any reason for him not to. You know what I mean? Playoffs be damned. I don't really see a reason for him to, pack it up and say, all right, I've proven my point. Nah, keep it moving, man, till force them to do their job or do what they feel, quote unquote, is right. All right. Got a couple more things out the NFL. Your man. Everybody's favorite weed head, I guess. Josh Gordon, man, he's gonna report to. He's reporting to work tomorrow with the Cleveland Browns for the first time in like 2 years. He's going back to work, and he did an interview with GQ magazine, and my man says that he was drunk or high. He didn't say and, by the way, he's either drunk or high before every game he's played in. Now, I want you guys to put this into perspective real quick. Your man said he was drunk or high. Shout out to my man Sean Smith. He's been on the show before, former NFL player. Said he was high before every game, too. My man played like 12 years. So, there's some case studies out there, man, for people who use weed not being affected, their work performance not being affected. And I'm saying that as a backdrop to the fact that if we remember, Josh Gordon got suspended for 4 games his first year and only led the entire National Football League, playing for the Browns, by the way, where no quarterback stays alive. They all die at some point, like while they're on the team. Led the entire National Football League, minus 4 games in receiving. This is how special this dude is, and it's mind-blowing to understand that this guy is such a great athlete. This is why now I'm the dude that's like, okay, I'm like, he can come back and play after 2 years off. If anybody can, this dude played while he was high, unless being high made it better for him. Made him better, which in that case sucks, man. They need to let this dude get his smoke on, his drink on, cause for my sake, do it for me. And he also kind of, lightweight snitches a little bit. He says a lot of guys do it. A lot of guys are high and drunk before the game. And once again, going back to the violent nature of the damn sport. Come on, cuz, if a dude need to be high to play, let him. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, the people who pay attention to this stuff, Hollywood Henderson for the Dallas Cowboys back in the day. That dude, no one on the team would mess with his water bottle because he would have cocaine powder mixed in with his water. So everybody knew not to mess with his water bottle. So you think everybody else knew? The coaches had to know too, right? If the coaches knew, the league probably knew. But it was whatever. Man's out there running into people full speed, knocking them down with his body. You want to do a little cocaine? Sure. You think Parcells didn't know that LT, one of the greatest linebackers ever to play the game, was high on cocaine while he was out there crushing Joe Theismann's leg? You think he didn't know that? Of course. So now, going from that to just a little weed, I don't know, man. I think they should go ahead and just stamp that thing, man. Approved. Let's go. Cass was feeling edgy yesterday too, man. Cass out here fighting AJ and Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey gave AJ a little shove, and AJ wasn't having it. You know what I'm saying? Quiet, sublime. AJ Green just like, you know what's going to happen? Chokehold. Boom. Chokehold, cuzzo. And hands. He started throwing hands at that dude, which I never understand. His cat's covered up with padding and helmets. It only serves to hurt you, but I guess when you mad, man, it's like you just got to put hands on the dude, and that's what AJ Green was all about yesterday, excuse me. They both got kicked out of the game. Nobody got suspended. They both got fined or whatever. A lot of people felt like Jalen Ramsey shouldn't have been suspended or kicked out of the game, but they called him the instigator. So that ended up happening. It was just weird to see it, man. To see AJ Green. It was like you remember when Andre Johnson put them hands on Cortland Finnegan? Like, Andre Johnson don't mess with nobody, but he is a Miami boy. You know what I mean? And I always say this. I learned this as a very young man. It's the dudes that's quiet. Those are the ones you worry about. Those are the ones that's crazy as hell that will reach into your chest and rip your damn heart out if you push them to that level. Yeah, it ain't the dude that's running around talking about how bad he is and how he'll kick everybody's ass. Not him. Not him. You can mess him up with one punch. It's the other cat. The cat that ain't saying nothing to you. Here's a question for you guys. You guys who watched football last night, not these guys here with me, or yesterday, I should say. What happened at the end of that Seattle game? Russell Wilson got called down, and I thought, and the announcer, whoever was doing the game, thought the game is over. It's a 10-second runoff, right? And the referees was like, no. The clock starts on my whistle, which gave the Seahawks another play, which they threw a Hail Mary. It was incomplete. They beat the Redskins beat them. Kirk Cousins had a nice little last minute drive or whatever. But I can only think back to the game, the Falcons and the Lions game. Same thing happened, but they ran 10 seconds off and called it ball game when they had to review a similar situation with the wide receiver being called down short of the goal line. And I was like, okay, which one is it? Does the team get another play, or is the game over? Because either way, because one crew I feel like got it wrong. Somebody hit me up on social media when I asked the question, was like, there was no penalty this time. And I was like, there was no penalty last time. It was called a touchdown last time. And when they went back and reviewed it, there was no touchdown. In this game, there was no penalty. Russell Wilson tried to get rid of the football to avoid a sack. And before he could throw it, his knee went down. Neither situation incurred a penalty, but for whatever reason, the ruling was different. And I hadn't heard anything today about it. Maybe someone heard something that I didn't hear, but, that is what it is. On the other side of the break, we got to talk about these protests and what's happening around these protests real quick before I move on to the NBA and college football and everything. This is moving by fast today for whatever reason. Am I talking fast? Maybe I'm high off this kickstart that I just had like 30 minutes before the show started. I feel like my mouth is moving faster than my thoughts are. Maybe I'm high. Yeah. I don't know if I know those. I don't know if you wrote that before I said it, but yeah, see, brilliant minds think alike. Lawrence Taylor, the first thing coming to your mind when you think about somebody being on cocaine and high on the football field, yeah, LT, Mr. Lover of Younger Woman. Is his son in jail? Because his son caught an underage, statutory rape charge as well, man. I mean, I ain't trying to blast that dude out, but that happened. Yeah, that literally happened. So yeah, coming back on the other side of the break, we're gonna talk about this damn everything that's surrounding the NFL's bad ratings or down ratings. I'm gonna say it that way. The things that are being said around player protests. How some of these teams are getting real slick, like they're getting low key slick. Yeah, this thing that happened with Melo yesterday. When I get to the NBA stuff, yeah, we'll hit on old Carmelo, boy, and my man Russ. They gonna hit his pockets, of course, because Russ had to say what he had to say about these bum ass refs, and whatever. That dude, did he just get $200 million? Yeah, Russ has got $200 million. You want to hit him for $25,000? Sure. That's like saying, Mike, I'm finding you a penny. All right, I'm not gonna stop doing what I'm doing then. If that's all it's gonna cost me, bing, I'm just gonna flip it at you. I'm gonna give you a dime, and just keep moving. Yeah, man. These little fines for criticizing the refs, cats making $200 million. What's that gonna do? Nothing. Nothing. And as well, we gotta talk about Draymond, LeBron and the Cavs, all that stuff we're gonna talk about in the NBA stuff. So I'll wrap up this NFL talk. Maybe get into some. I might do the NCAA stuff last, because tomorrow the second college football playoff rankings come out, so we might do it like that. It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm live right now, but I can also be heard on demand on Spreaker, the Spreaker app, TuneIn, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. And, of course, the Facebook live stream is popping right now at the number one MICWITHBIGMIKE on Facebook. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? When a tornado is tearing through town? Or a hurricane strikes? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. And it's not always as simple as using your cell phone. That's why now is the time to take action. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
One mic.
I'm back.
It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. Live,
There ain't no goddamn tape.
interactive, and on demand. One Mic. Yeah, a sports show.
The best move of LeBron's career, man, was dragging his sweaty ball sack right across Draymond Green's the nape of his neck and getting that dude suspended.
And so much more.
What's going on right now with Donald Trump? This is America, and it tickles me to death when white people are so shocked and appalled by it.
What? It's the One Mic with Big Mike show.
Of course, it's like anything, like ammonia or you sniffing glue is gonna get you high.
You've been warned. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts now. Here he is.
He's real cocky, he's real loudmouth, he's real flamboyant. He don't cow down to people.
Big Mike.
Hour number 2 here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Appreciate you guys out there joining me. If you're joining me via or on demand, I appreciate you as well. If you want to get involved in the show, there's a couple of ways you can do so. One, by texting me at 404-902-8104, 404-902-8104. The other is via my live interactive chat room here on Spreaker. You just got to be listening via Spreaker or the Spreaker app. Click that little thought bubble icon. It'll get you right up in here. Also, you can leave your comments and questions and whatnot below my live streaming video here on Facebook. My page is at the number 1 MIC, WITHBIGMIKE, at One Mic with Big Mike. I'll go ahead and like that situation and use that same handle to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm looking at my Facebook page or my Facebook feed here right now, and this dude Tavion Wade, he said he's tired of hearing excuses when it comes to Lonzo Ball, man. Yeah, it's been a rough couple of days for him. This team has been winning despite him. You know what I'm saying? He's been like, I think he went 3 for 13 the other night. He was like 2 for 15 the other night. It's not really working out for the kid. His dad still says though today, his kid is going to surpass what Kobe Bryant did. All 20 years. My man hadn't played 20 games yet. He's already given this dude 20 years with the Lakers. Shout out to him, I guess. Shout out to him, man. Well, what you gonna say? Anyway, before I get too deep into the basketball talk, man, because there is a lot of that to have as well. I'm talking about these damn Falcons on TV, I think. So, I entitled this show, it's got to be somebody's fault, right? Somebody did it. And here's the thing, as it pertains to that. The NFL is running around. They're trying to justify why the ratings are where they are. There is some low-hanging fruit involved, and that low-hanging fruit being the player protests, right? And as long as you can keep talking about player protests and the military stuff and the flag, whatever, well, you don't have to talk about the issue behind all of it, which none of these guys want to talk about. They're offering up a lot of window dressing, but at this point, I don't see anything being done. I'm saying it that way purposely because my man Jim Trotter, somebody who I trust, somebody who was down with us during the Sports Kings days, he vouches for the fact that there are some things occurring behind the scenes. This is what he says. I have no reason to ever doubt that dude because he's one of the realest dudes who's ever graced our airways when we were down at the CBS building. So I trust him, but I haven't seen anything, and apparently these players haven't either. This is something that came to my attention yesterday. See, why y'all ain't watching football, I ain't know those. I'm gonna keep y'all abreast of what's happening though. This ain't even football related. It was reported by NBC that apparently Kenny Stills and a couple of the protesting players for the Dolphins were told by management, by the head coach, that if they're going to protest, they need to stay in the tunnel. Like real slick. Like these cats have actually done what this orange douchebag has told them to do. Come up with a rule about this anthem to the point where these guys had to make up an excuse of sorts. Well, we can't stay in the tunnel because it's going to mess up our pregame. And we've heard that before because another team against the Seahawks and somebody else wanted to do it. The Titans wanted to do it right after the Trump comments. But because of how things work on Sunday Night Football, the schedule of how the pregame works, it would have made them late for the coin toss and some other stuff. So they weren't able to do it. But even the fact that has to be a thing is ridiculous to me. And I also found out that the Chiefs, actually also the Chiefs too. Marcus Peters, their corner, he's been staying in the tunnel during the national anthem. I'm like, see, this is why, man. I go back to the episode, and it's titled, if you hadn't heard it, it's entitled, Believe Ish When Ish Happens. You can talk to me all day long about what you're going to do, what you want to do, and all this kind of stuff. But really, if you have these ulterior motives, if you're reasoning in the right place, I can't trust that at all. Apparently, the Dolphins have created some sort of yearly fund. Doing what rich people do. I'm going to throw money at the situation and hope it goes away. That's what it sounds like to me. Where the hell is it? Where is this Dolphins crap at? I can't find it. But apparently, here it is. Stephen Ross, who is the owner of the Dolphins, he announced the creation of a yearly fund with the purpose of advocating for and sponsoring social justice programs in their neck of the woods down there in South Florida. A program to earmark funds to organizations involved in community engagement, education, or justice reform. I don't know why it says or and not and, but that's weird. A 4-year scholarship for deserving students who participate in programs involved in the community engagement, education, and justice reform. Sponsorship of the Police Athletic League. Of course, you got to throw some money at the Popos, too. That's how this all works. Which is your basic cops and kids getting to know each other thing. You know, when the cops play basketball with the kids and that ridiculousness, that type of stuff. Also an expansion of, guess what? Stephen Ross's, his RISE program, the Ross Initiative in Sports for Equality. He got a program, so it's going to be some money coming back my way. You better believe that. I'm just not giving it away. It's a program which uses sports as an entry point for discussion about, quote, racism, prejudice, diversity, and inclusivity, end quote, among high school students. And also an annual town hall meeting, quote, featuring community leaders, law enforcement, and educators with a shared goal of improving race relations and bringing people together under unifying values of sports, end quote. Yeah, miss me with it, man. Miss me with it. Because you know what? You know what I know these rich people do? When they want stuff changed, like when they don't want gay people to get married or when they don't want weed legalized, you know what they do? They use their money to lobby and get actual policy change. They don't pay for no damn open house or whatever this is, no forum or no town hall meetings. They don't put no money into that. They put their money directly into the pockets of these damn lawmakers. This is all bullcrap. It's all, please stop kneeling so these advertisers can get off our back. And it's getting real. It ain't just the Papa John's thing, y'all. Apparently, one of the marketing people at NBC Universal, her name is Linda Yaccarino. I think I said that right. She sent everybody a notice. Stop covering NFL players' national anthem protests, or we'll pull your ads, is what the advertisers are saying. She said the marketers have said, quote, "We will not be a part of the NFL if you continue covering it." And she's talking to, this is people talking to NBC, which, by the way, last night had Sunday Night Football. And guess what they did? They covered it. She also said that while it was hard to say for certain, she thought the protests had affected the ratings. Marketers want more of the focus on games and less on the protests. How about y'all do something about police killing black folk? How about we do that? You know what I mean? How about we chew bubble gum and walk at the same time? But no one cares. No one cares. You know what I mean? And I think this is the more illuminating thing about all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? That you just got to do the best you can for yourself, man. Because the people who are in charge of making things safe and making things, palatable, like, a traffic stop, making sure that at least you just get your ticket and go home. Those people don't care. So with that being said, they're really, with this Trump stuff going on, they really just coming out the woodworks and saying it without saying it. Look, stand your ass up, man. Because we need to make this money. Damn, what you talking about? Your little cousin got beat up by the police. I don't care about that. We can have a town hall about it and talk about it. Because that's white people love that. They love that to be, well, we can have the conversation. It's good that we're now having the conversation, man. Black folk been talking for hundreds of years. How much conversation you need? I don't need no more. Because, like, these white boys who's killing these folks on the street, they ain't having no conversation. Ain't no dialogue going back and forth. It's just a gun ringing out into your head, busting you in your chest. That's it. So we'll see, man. We'll see how this is going. The players they're asking for some sort of mediation in which they want Colin Kaepernick to be a part of. That even to me, that sounds like a hard ask, boy. Ask these white boys to sit down with a dude that's suing them, that they want nothing to do with. They want absolutely nothing to do with them. A group of protesting NFL players have requested formal mediation with Goodell, legal officials, and owners to quote unquote address the underlying cause of their demonstrations and the NFL's response to it. Now you gotta keep telling these dudes, man. You gotta keep telling these dudes why you protesting, man. They know. They just don't care. I mean, so you continue to tell them and try to articulate it in different ways. It's not gonna make no difference. They just want their money to be all right. Damn your black ass. They're requesting mediation. And of course, like I said before, they want Colin Kaepernick to be involved. Guys like Michael Bennett, Eric Reed, they want like lawyers. They want either a former judge or some sort of esteemed labor lawyer, or expert working with the sides to determine common ground and fostering a positive back and forth, about the desires of both parties. Yeah, whatever. One party desires keeping all their money. The other party desires, you know what? If someone murders someone, whether they're wearing a badge or not, should probably go to jail. There is no common ground. Like, I don't know how everyone's not for that. Well, I do know that will be disingenuous for me to say that. I don't know. I do know it's called racism. It's called America, spelled with 3 Ks, by the way. But the fact that these players are coming to them with, like, we need to find some common ground, that sounds like bullcrap to me. Like, all this compromise. What is there to compromise on? Stop killing black people because you have a badge and because you have a get out of jail free card called I was afraid. I don't see the compromise in that. That seems pretty straight down the middle for me. Ain't no I'll give you this, you give me that. But well, who am I, right? I'm just a little old me. You know what I mean? And finally, let me pull everything back up here. The NFL need to worry about what's really making these ads or these ratings be what they are. It ain't the protest. Like moms are concerned about CTE. We don't care. Dudes, we don't give a damn. And a lot of women don't. Like women who are fans of their teams, they don't care either. But a lot of moms care. The acceptable drug abuse. Now, I'm not talking about the weed. I'm talking about the dope and the opioids that you got these players on. They need to put in their bodies in order just to get on the football field. No wonder cats is getting drunk and high. It's a pleasant alternative than being strung out on Vicodin when you're done playing. There is also the domestic violence thing that the NFL just won't let die. That they won't just say, you know what? The law spoke. What you want us to do? We're a football organization. Nah, the NFL is like, yeah, we're a football organization, but you know what we do? We'll do an investigation. But how are you going to subpoena people? We won't. Well, will people be able to perjure themselves under the law? No, they can lie to us if they want to. Well, what the hell is happening? Nothing, but we'll make it seem like it is. All right, cool. Cool. And then finally, and maybe most importantly, a lot of these games been bad. Bad as hell. Cats getting blown out. These teams suck. You got badass quarterback play. I'm not even sure I'm watching this game tonight. If I can find any alternative to this game tonight, I'll be watching that. Anything on my DVR, White Famous, anything on my DVR, I'm all about that life. I'm not trying to watch Brett Hundley play football, man. My fantasy team is wrapped up for this week. I've already won, so I have no vested interest in watching this game. So I guess, you know what? I am no those. You know what, Big L? It's a possibility I'll be protesting tonight. Yeah, that's happening. Yeah, your boy is joining the protest, at least for one night. Anyway, it's One Mic with Big Mike, man. Don't forget to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend about it. You guys can still text in 404-902-8104. You can also leave comments and questions and criticisms and whatever right here below my live my live Facebook stream. I'm at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE on Facebook. Or you guys can jump on in my live interactive chat room if you're listening via Spreaker right now. Just click the little thought bubble icon and jump on in this chat room and let me know what you're thinking about. Also, click the little heart icon and those share icons as well so that your friends know what's up, what's popping, and know that I'm here. Maybe they want to try it out as well. Onto the land of the NBA. NBA is fun, man. It's been fun. You know what I'm saying? LeBron, that's the team name now. LeBron and them, the Cavs, was on the slide when I left here on Friday. They were playing. Who the hell were the Cavs playing? The Wizards? Who were they playing? Either way, I can't remember who they were playing, but LeBron went off because like that dude was everywhere doing everything. Like one of those games that I love. Like I used to say I want LeBron to do that all the time, but it's one of those things. It feels like it's more special. You know what I mean? It feels like it's just more special when he just drop it on you every now and then just to be like, I can do that. That thing right there, that 57 points, yeah, I can do that whenever I get ready to. And he walked off the court saying that. He was like, look, man, like I ain't about that losing life. So if that's what I got to do, that's what's going to happen. Now, that whole attitude shifted, of course. They were here in Atlanta playing the Atlanta Hawks, and they lost. They lost by 2 points to the Hawks, who went to the game 1-8. And, you know, the internet speaks on things like that. LeBron's gone. Hashtag LeBron gone. It's tough, man. You know, they made the trade, and everybody was quick to like try to piss on Kyrie the way they did Kevin Durant. But I'll keep saying, man, one of the greatest attributes to have in business, right, is knowing when to get the hell out. Like everybody know when to get in. Everybody know when it look good. You know, I want in on this. I want in on this business deal. I want in on this thing or that thing. The art is knowing when to get the hell out. And Kyrie was like, I don't give a damn about these 2 years left on this deal. LeBron ain't got but one. And if things don't go the way he want to, he ain't leaving me here again by myself. Hell no. First of all, it's Cleveland. And it's the Wizards. Thank you. Johnny Wall and the boys. What did I say? Did I not say Wizards? Either way. Yeah, that happened too. Like he did it last year too. I am No Those is reminding me that my guy, one of my favorite guys to watch, John Wall, after they lost to who they lose to the Celtics, he was like, "Yeah, they better be lucky the Celtics beat us because they didn't want to see us in the finals." Well, yeah, there's really no way of knowing that because you guys didn't get there. You gotta get there before you make that statement. And you know they went into the game on Friday talking about how they were the best team in the East and bliggity blah blah, and they matched up with anybody. And LeBron was like, really? like on that Eddie Murphy on that what was it, on Delirious, or was it on Raw? Come on, little white man. when the dude was like at the movie theater, it was like that. And LeBron went out there and did his thing. But back to what I was saying, man, like Kyrie Irving is a real ass basketball player, man. They had a comeback win same night, matter of fact. Can't remember who it was against either. But yeah. And it was amazing to watch because he didn't panic. Kyrie, he didn't shoot well in the first half. But by the time it was all over, yeah, the ball was in that guy's hands, man. And he was showing you guys and girls why he's a real ass all-star point guard. Like, he's not LeBron's lackey. At no point was he, man. Now, I'm not gonna go to the other extreme like a lot of people do and start talking about like he carried LeBron. That's not a thing either. I will go to the point where I say they learned, they figured it out how to do it together. But Kyrie, he got what he came for. And if in the same way Kevin Durant felt like, you know what, our best while he was with Oklahoma City, our best just wasn't gonna ever be good enough. Even though we got close, it wasn't going to be good enough to beat that team. So with Kyrie, he may have been in the same mindset. Think about how him and LeBron played in that finals, and they were only able to eke out one game against that team. Both of them dudes played out of control, and they eked out one game. If I'm Kyrie, I'm like, yeah, that's the best we got to offer. I'm only 25 years old. I may be able to outlast these dudes. They won't be able to keep that team together forever. Like, guys ain't gonna keep on taking pay cuts like Kevin Durant. They're gonna have to re-up with Draymond pretty soon. I think next up is Clay. They're not gonna be able to keep it together for so long. So if I'm Kyrie, yeah, let me go somewhere where we're younger, and maybe we can just outlast this tidal wave that currently is the Golden State Warriors. Some of y'all got mad about it. Kyrie don't want to win. He a loser. Even you heard my man Jovan Buha. He talked about it, not from his perspective, but from a lot of people's perspective. Like, why would you leave that situation when you got LeBron? Very simple. If LeBron's out next year, yeah, you ain't trying to be the dude holding that hot potato, B. No. Not when you can help it. Please, man. What else happened? Oh, James Harden. My God. James Harden, like, y'all must have forgot. That dude took like 7 shots and scored 55 points, or what was it, 56 points. Good God, man. He really didn't miss. He shot 75% from the field, had 10 assists. I don't know what Chris Paul does for this team. Maybe he shows his value around playoff time. And I was thinking about this last night, too. This James Harden Rockets team, it's like an inverse of what that Dwight Howard Orlando Magic team was when they went to the finals. And hear me out. What I mean is, with Dwight, it was like, okay, we got the man in the middle, and we got a bunch of shooters around him. With James Harden we got a ball handler. He's also a shooter, but then we got other shooters. We got Trevor Ariza. We got Gordon. We got all these shooters around him. And for whatever reason, people must forget that this dude is left-handed because they can't keep him away from that left hand in crunch time. The one dude that I see doing it on a regular basis is Draymond. But, of course, he's defensive player of the year. He's special. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't that dude. And you can't keep James Harden off that left hand, man. That dude is a real-ass basketball player. And I'm going to be real interested, even more so than I was at the beginning of the season, to see how this whole thing works out with him and Chris Paul coming back. Oh, man. I am no dose. So he wanted me to hit on this freaking Carmelo situation. Like, I don't know what you want me to say about it, man. It was a dumbass call. Carmelo goes to the rack. The shot blocker comes over. Carmelo contorts his body in sort of a way to absorb the contact and make some room so he can get the shot off. He gets the shot off. It goes in. They go to the they being the damn refs go to the monitors. They come back. Carmelo got to lead the game. Flagrant two on a shot that he on an and one. MFers. Like, no one all day long. No one has ever seen in ever anything like that. But, sometimes these refs, man, they want to be stars too, man. You know what I'm saying? They want people talking about, you know what I mean? Like, even if you wanted to hit him with, like, the flagrant one, because, I don't know he had both hands on the ball, and the way he turned his body, his elbow was out, but it ain't even about intent. Like, sometimes you get knocked upside the damn head. These big ass 6'10" ass dudes flying around, somebody's gonna catch it every now and then. They kicked my man out the game, and the game ended up being close, and they lost the ball game without one of their best players. Speaking of 6'10" dudes flying around and being high, Lamar Odom he got a death wish, B. That dude apparently fell out again this weekend in a strip club. I can't see. It makes me seem like a bad guy for laughing at him, but you know my philosophy. It doesn't matter if I laugh or not. It's not gonna change the outcome. Like, when he finally do kill himself, like, look, dude, you have the resources to garner the help for whatever you need, and he still got people making excuses for him. Talking about he fell out in the strip club because of an intense workout and he was dehydrated. They got water in the strip club. Trust me. I mean, I ain't been to one in a minute, but the last time I went there, plenty of water in the strip club. How you dehydrated, B? Yeah, if you got people around you that's like covering up these things you doing, yeah, eventually you gonna die. You keep doing the same things. I'm all right now. That's what addicts do. They convince themselves I can handle it. This is why I always draw that line. Remember I was talking about Josh Gordon earlier? And now I'm talking about Lamar Odom. See, there's a line there. When you start talking about people needing help, this guy. Now, he's an extreme, of course. He's dying in the whole house and dying in strip clubs or halfway falling out or whatever in strip clubs. That's one thing. Like, Josh Gordon just, he puffing on a little good and coming to work on time and performing at his job. Lamar Odom, not so much. How much time I got in this segment, man? They were playing. Oh, I already read that. I want to talk about this Draymond thing before I move on and end the show. I'll end the show with what happened this weekend in college football. I'll run that down and give my thoughts on that real quick. But before, I'm gonna set it up now, and then we'll get into it more in the next segment. And also, man, y'all gotta give me your feedback on this whole bidet situation, because apparently you don't even have to get the whole bidet. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to, like, swap out your toilet for the bidet. They make a mount, an attachment that goes on your existing toilet. That's the bidet. It's like $40. I saw it on Amazon. And I guess they got one that's more advanced at Lowe's. It's like $70. I'm going to read the reviews on them joints, man. Your man might be, by the end of this week, man, I might be a bidet owner. I'll give you guys the whole, I got I'm real, conservative about my butthole. So it's going to be one of those things I gotta psych myself up for it, man, because I'm not really, comfortable in that area. You know what I'm saying? But they say it's more hygienic than just wiping your ass. Even if you, I use a little Cottonelle wet wipes with the toilet paper, but they say you shouldn't do that. You should use the bidet and get your thing, sparkly clean. I'm all about that clean life. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you don't know how to spell bidet? How's bidet spelled? B-I-D-E-T? Bidet. I think that's how you spell it. B-I-D-E-T. Yeah, man. I'm getting older, man. I gotta do what it takes to take care of myself, man. I'm not a young buck no more, man. And if I got one of those what they call those pooper stools. You know what I'm saying? Because they say you're supposed to do kneeling or squatting. So you get the pooper stool, and you prop your feet up on it, and it puts you in a squatting position so that your whole bowels can evacuate properly. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that I'm on now, man. I'm 40 years old, man. It's just real. Some of you may be uncomfortable with this conversation, but look, you gotta do what you gotta do, man, to get all that grime up out of you. And if the pooper stool, I can't remember the actual name of it, the pooper stool and the bidet is gonna help me with that, I'll get over a few hang-ups. Anyway, man, see, I'm supposed to be introing this Draymond Green situation. Anyway, I'll come back after a little short break, and we'll get into my man Draymond, his little it ain't even really a back and forth, but he said something that got under Mark Cuban's skin a little bit, and I want to kind of explore it a little bit. I'll do it next here on the One Mic with Big Mike show.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
My name is Dale Pazinski. I'm 19 years old, and this is how I live united. I've always been kind of a computer geek, and I found a way to use those skills to help the homeless in my community. For people facing hard times, computer skills and a basic resume are so important. It may seem like a small thing, but it makes a huge difference in people's lives. So with United Way, I created a program where I work with the homeless. Together, we go through their whole job history, write a resume, and then save it on their very own USB drive. We provide workbooks and training certificates. I even budgeted for cupcakes so we can celebrate as a class when one of our people gets a job. That's huge. When somebody says, "Hey man, that job that you helped me apply for, I got it." That's what living united feels like to me. My name is Dale Pazinski. I help people achieve financial independence. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
And now back to One Mic with Big Mike.
And here we go!
All right, man, we got a couple minutes left to go. Monday Night Football has kicked off, and there is Brent freaking Hundley. My God. You're listening to the One Mic with Big Mike show. In case you didn't know that, I am Big Mike. If you missed any of the show, it can be heard on demand on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, TuneIn, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and on YouTube. You can also check out the live streams going on right now. And, you can come back and check it out later. If you so do, please, right here on my Facebook page at One Mic with Big Mike, spelled the number 1, M-I-C, W-I-T-H, B-I-G-M-I-K-E. Text me, man, 404-902-8104. The text line is 404-902-8104. The chat room is wide open. Just click on that little thought bubble icon you see on your streaming player. As long as you're listening via Spreaker, it'll get you right up in here, man. So I left actually talking about doo-doo, but or bowel evacuation, if I'm going to be more politically correct. But I wanted to come back and talk about Draymond Green. Draymond Green had some things to say about last week. Remember when Texans owner Bob McNair he made the prisoners running the prison analogy as it pertained to the NFL players. And Draymond Green had something. He had a very interesting perspective on that. He said last week he said that these team owners should be called chairman, so as not to insinuate that they own someone. And I don't know what the proper title would be. Like, if you hear me, I'm always saying the team owner instead of saying the owner in just a general situation, because he does in effect own the team. He's the person like Bob McNair and Jerry Jones. They are the owner of the team, which is not to say that they're the owners of the players on the team. And I get the spirit of what Draymond is saying, though, because if players keep saying my owner, like Deion Sanders is a prime example of that. He calls Jerry Jones my own. That's my owner. Him and Michael Irvin say that all the time. If you keep saying that, and for Jerry Jones, you don't have to say it a lot either. Like, that type of mentality will infiltrate somebody's way of thinking, and they'll start looking at you like you are their damn property. I.e., Jerry Jones. Yeah, he treats those dudes like they're his property, like they owe him something. Not like they're his employees and whatnot. Hell no. So what he's saying to me, the spirit is correct. Like, I don't like the chairman. I don't know if there's a difference between the chairman. I do know there's a chairman serves on a board. A chairman doesn't necessarily own the company, so that would be a misnomer. It would be a mislabeling of the person's position. They're not chairmen. That's not what they are. And in the wake of that, Mark Cuban, surprise, surprise, he took offense to it. He says Draymond Green owes either him or all the other team owners apologies. He says, quote, for him to try to turn it into something is wrong. He owes the NBA an apology. I think he does, because to try to create some connotation that owning equity in a company that you busted your ass for is equivalent of ownership in the terms of people, that's just wrong. That's just wrong in every which way. Well, here's the thing, dude. Like Mark Cuban, in spirit, and I think in age too, I don't think he's as old. And when he got into the league, he wasn't as old as a lot of these like Donald Sterling guys, or like the dude in Orlando, like some of these old ass, crusty ass dudes. He wasn't as old as those guys. So maybe it could be looked upon as appropriate for him to take some sort of offense to it. But as a whole, I don't look at what Draymond said as being wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like when that Donald Sterling thing happened, like so many people act like they were surprised. I'll go on record again as saying I don't think his team should have been taken away for what they took it away for, or what they forced him to sell it for. Like Donald Sterling, he had been a racist, slumlord, a-hole for decades. And now because he's on tape telling his side chick that he don't want her taking pictures with Magic Johnson and Matt Kemp, look, dude, I don't want my wife taking pictures with them dudes either. Them some slick, rich dudes, man. Stay away. Stay your ass away. Yeah, like they use that as an excuse to get this dude out. But he'd been that long before. So to say that these guys don't look at these players as their property, come on, Mark. You got to be more. You got to step into the world of realism much more than you are. Draymond said just what I'm saying. He said it gives the wrong mindset, and I think he's right. You keep telling somebody you're my owner. Every time you do an interview with my owner. He's not your owner. He owns the team, the company in which you work for. Cuban came back saying, people who read that message may interpret it. Make it seem like we don't do everything possible to help our players succeed and don't care about their families and don't care about their lives. That's just wrong. Again, maybe he's speaking out of personal experience or a personal affinity because of, everyone's seeing how he's quote unquote taking care of Dirk Nowitzki, even at the risk of losing like they have been for the last couple of years. But most ain't that. Most could give a damn. Do I need to bring up the name of Dan Gilbert? Like when LeBron left, it felt like he wanted to call some slave catchers to bring him back. You go out there and get my property. I got some lashes for him when he get back. I'm gonna cut his foot off too. Like that letter that he wrote had all those connotations involved in it, man. The whole thing with Phil Jackson and Carmelo Anthony, that whole power struggle. You think that just, and Phil ain't even the owner, by the way. Mark Cuban, he is the portrait of the real dangerous white people. I keep telling y'all, it's not those idiots with the red hats on, the Make America Great and the tiki torches. It's not them. It's 2017. You can see them coming from a mile away and act accordingly. It's the Mark Cubans of the world who reside in a world where they don't think they're racist. They don't think the things that they believe are racist. The things that they represent are racist, and will be offended if you bring up something of that. Just like now, if you bring up something like that to them, he won't turn. His first inkling won't be to say, maybe I should pick up the phone and call Draymond. Let's have a conversation as to why. Why does he feel that way? He won't do that. You know what he'll do? He'll do this. He'll do what a lot of white people do. Here's another quote from him. We own equity. We don't own people. I guess it's because he went to Michigan State and didn't take any business classes. See, he got to go to the insults, to talking about how dumb this N-word must be to not understand my position. He goes on to say, tell him if he wants to take classes at Indiana's business school, I'll even pay for his classes, and we'll help him learn that stuff. It's tough, man. This is why, man. This is why, again, it's not those idiots, it's not those blood and soil idiots. It's the ones like Mark Cuban who say, you know what? Nothing to see here. Ain't nothing wrong. Yeah, these black guys should call me their owner. Because that's what, like he said, he busted his ass for. All right. You know, sweet. It's all good in the hood, homie. You know what I mean? Just disregard what the homie Draymond had to say. And what you had to say is absolutely right. And Draymond is dumb. He went to a terrible school, apparently, in which common sense and him explaining human nature. You keep telling somebody they own something. People like that who are used to having money, power, influence, how you going to tell them anything other than that? Nope. Let's not forget either. Like, before all this Trump stuff started happening with the presidency, that was Mark Cuban's man. While Trump was on the campaign trail, I saw Mark Cuban ass on Larry Wilmore's show before they canceled that joint, talking about some, I know this guy, man. He doesn't believe any of that stuff he's saying. He's not a racist. Yep. That's the way you get me to tune out every time. When you start defending dudes who are racist by trying to convince me that you know that they're not. Yeah, I believe that old birds of a feather thing. I believe that to be 100% the truth. They flock the freaking together. Last thing, man, before I get out of here for the night, appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. I'm sure this badass football game works in my favor. This weekend in college football. This is a good weekend in college football. For most, you know what I mean? Maybe not as much as a lot of people, but for the most part, this is what it comes down to. When these college football rankings come out, that's when stuff starts to really, really matter. So Ohio State, after last week, going to Penn State, going to Happy Valley, taking care of that Penn State squad, they came back, and JT Barrett and the boys laid a freaking egg, against Iowa. And if you guys remember me talking to Bill Bender at the beginning of the season, this Iowa team is never, ever exceptionally good record-wise. But when you play them, especially at home, these big corn-fed country white boys are just going to fight. And if you coming off a big game in Penn State, if you don't come into their place ready to fight, you're going to get your ass handed to you. And that's what happened to Ohio State. Speaking of Penn State, they had a lot of talk about the best practice of the year. Everybody seemed to be locked in. Everybody put in the extra time. Not enough. The Michigan State Spartans took that ass to the woodshed, and a surprise up there in the Big Ten. Team that was down last year, Mark D'Antoni, the coach, he told people they was going to be back. Nobody really believed him because everybody was focused on Michigan. And, of course, Ohio State coming back. And, of course, Penn State had a lot to prove after getting left out of the playoffs last year. Everybody was focused on those teams. Meanwhile, you got Wisconsin sitting up there in the Big Ten. Everybody's talking about they don't play nobody. Well, they've beaten everybody they played. You know what I mean? It still may not matter at the end of the day. When it's all said and done, they still may get left out of the playoffs because of what I just mentioned, even if they win the Big Ten championship, because of the fact they're probably going to play a 2-loss team in that championship game, which would, take down the level of that win or the impact of that win on their ranking. That plus the fact they started off so low in the rankings already. I think they were like 10 or 9 or whatever, and no one's come from further back than 7. Speaking of coming from far back, the University of Miami's in the building, man. The U is kind of back. We'll find out a little bit more next week, but last week they took care of business against a decent Virginia Tech squad and their freshman quarterback. Got a bunch of turnovers. That's their thing down there because they got the big turnover chain, which I still don't. I just have a feeling that people think that chain is fake. But hearing what that dude, that country dude on ESPN, Marty Smith, talk about it, they keep it locked up as though they can't get another one. You know what I mean? Like somebody put some bread into this, some booster, somebody, some jewelry making Arab cat down there in Miami. I know I'm being probably racially insensitive, but whatever. That's nothing to be mad about. If I assume that you make quality jewelry because you're a Middle Eastern cat, kind of just take it. Again, it's like saying a black dude has a huge penis. I'm not going to correct you. You know what I mean? Especially if you never have to see it, not speaking for myself, by the way. Anyway, so yeah, they beat Virginia Tech. They got a bunch of turnovers as they deal. They got to play Notre Dame this weekend. And I do not know if they go. I think they go to Notre Dame. I didn't check, but I think they go to Notre Dame. Speaking of Notre Dame is probably still going to be ranked pretty high next week, or tomorrow, I should say, because of their loss to Georgia. It's a hell of a loss. They got an SEC team that's undefeated now, and that's the only team that's beaten them so far. They took care of business against South Carolina last week, but then they got Auburn this week. Auburn played pretty well last weekend. And I think, Georgia has to go to Auburn, which shouldn't be any easy task. They don't have that big old boy. I don't think they're going to have him this week. The big running back, Cameron Petway. Which way? Petway. I don't think he's going to be there this week. But their quarterback is playing a lot better from what I've seen. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. It's one of the roadblocks. That's road bumps? Speed bumps. That's what I'm trying to say. Speed bumps. As Georgia goes down the stretch here, the SEC East is wrapped up. They're going to be in Atlanta playing Alabama. That's going to happen. What they have to worry about now is not slipping up against Auburn, which, because of the time of year it is, very, very plausible, and not getting crept up on by Georgia Tech at the end of the season. Those two things would keep them out, I ain't going to say even. Maybe even with one loss. I think with one loss. They beat Alabama and give Alabama their only loss. They end up in the playoffs, and I think Alabama may end up in the playoffs as well. Speaking of ending up in the playoffs, Clemson is finding their footing, finding their sea legs. They beat NC State last week. For the life of me, I can't tell you who they play next week. Kelly Bryant seems to be, a lot healthier, getting healthy each and every week. So they're on a collision course with Miami, seeing as though Miami takes care of business against Notre Dame next week. And then you got the game that really, really wasn't my cup of tea. Like, Big 12 football just ain't really my thing, especially when it's actual Big 12 football and they scoring like 9,000 points and everybody's got like 200 million total yards of offense. I can't really watch that, man, because it's frustrating to me to watch people not get knocked down and get tackled. But either way, Bedlam, as it's affectionately called, OU OK State. OK State had some promise when the season started, but Oklahoma, they outlasted them. Baker Mayfield played well, and is apparently now he is the Heisman front runner. I like the kid. He's swaggy. He got a lot of personality. People want to compare him to Johnny Manziel. I hope not. He's not the biggest guy. Maybe that's what it is. But he had a harder road to hold. He wasn't a. Speaking of sayings, that's wrong. What I just said, it's not road to hoe. It is actually road to hoe, which makes a lot more sense because, like, when you planting crops or whatever, you plant them in rows and you hold the ground. You know what I'm saying? In rows. So it's road to hoe, not road to hoe. He had a tougher road to hoe. Road to hoe because he was a walk on twice, was he not? He walked on at Texas Tech. And then left and then walked on at Oklahoma University, only to become now a star, man. Not sure what kind of NFL player he's going to be, but to me, that's neither here nor there right now. He's a damn good college football player, and as of right now, I guess maybe he, then the kid from Stanford, Bryce Love, they got a nice little running back. That running back at USC is nice. Everybody's talking about Sam Darnold. He seemed corny to me, man. I'm not really high on him. And another running back at Arizona. I know they're all the way out in the West Coast, so people don't really pay that much attention to them, and that could hurt them in the Heisman bid. But, there's some nice running backs out there. Oh, I know a thought that I had the other day, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get up out of here. Who was that? Bill Bender, right? Bill Bender, my college football guy from the Sporting News. He said something the other day, and it came back to mind. The whole situation of this being not the year of the quarterback, but the year of the running back. And what people will do mistakenly, they'll do this thing. They'll say, look, running backs are coming back, and think that running backs are going to be taken high in the draft. But to me, the more of a renaissance there is in college football when it comes to running backs, the worse it means bad things for them as far as draft position. Think about what I'm saying. Okay, you get a Leonard Fournette, a Matt Stafford out here slinging this thing. Boy, Marvin Jones has had a couple of good weeks, and I drafted that dude and dropped him. Damn it. I'm going to have to pick him back up, though, because Mike Evans got suspended for fighting. I didn't even mention that earlier. Yup. But anyway, the running back situation. Think about it this way. You got Leonard Fournette, right? But you also got Kareem Hunt. And for your money, I'll throw in there Alvin Kamara. You know what I'm saying? So for every, Ezekiel Elliott, for every Todd Gurley, these high draft picks, like look at right now. They still can't figure out a way to get Christian McCaffrey going. He just had his first decent NFL game running and catching the football this past week against Atlanta. Finally here in like week 9. So again, if there is, if there's 7 running backs that's all in the same cluster, not named Saquon Barkley, I would ask you why then? If you're the Cleveland Browns, then why take Saquon Barkley then? If you can come back in the 3rd round and get a dude that's going to steal, you can get you a Kareem Hunt. When did Kareem Hunt get drafted? The 5th round or something like that? A dude that's going to lead the league in rushing? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you just do your job as scouts, scout the right guys, and figure out who the guy is for your system the way Sean Payton obviously did, the way he told Adrian Peterson, you go ahead and just sit your ass over here, B. I like this kid. I like this Kamara kid. Yeah, it's gonna be the value of the running back position, in my opinion, is headed downward because there's so many good ones this year coming out. There's no reason for me to reach for any of them. I just wait. Let's wait till I can get me one, and then I don't have to pay him that much. And then I can just work him in, and then when he's good to go, run his ass to the ground. And if I feel like paying him, like Devontae Freeman, I pay him. And if I can't pay him, like Tevin Coleman for the Falcons, you know what Tevin Coleman's going to be next year? Playing for another team. 3rd round pick. Let's go. Anyway, man, I'm gonna get up out of here. Go watch me maybe some football if this thing ain't already out of god doggone hand. Check my phone real quick. I think I got some work to do too before I go to bed. So that's gonna do it, man. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me on a Monday here on the One Mike with Big Mike show, man. Again, man, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a damn friend, man. I'm gonna be doing this thing. I don't know for how much longer, but man, it's a little bit of a release for your boy, man, to get a chance to do this and do it on my own and not under the restrictions of somebody's radio station or the FCC or any of those things. So I appreciate y'all, hanging out, supporting, hollering at me, my man. I am No Dose, Big L, what up? Everybody who hit me up, Mike Monroe, and y'all who hit me up on Facebook or whatever. Appreciate it, man. I'm gonna come back Wednesday, hump day. I got my man Matt Latowski. He's back Wednesday at 8 to get your fantasy football situation straight. Guys suspended, guys hurt. You know what I'm saying? Guys with new teams. We got to figure it all out, man. Matt Latowski on Wednesday at 8 p.m., man. So, yeah, that's going to do it, man. Y'all take care of yourselves, man. One more time, shout out to my people out there, to the people out there in Texas. I know I've been making some jokes about it today or about the situation itself, but for everybody who lost somebody, man, it's tough. You know what I mean? It's tough. Hold your heads, man. And, of course, don't forget, man, all you need is one mic.